I don't usually say this, but this is bad, bro. Let's counter it.
Okay, ground stopped at 0630 for how long?
10 days.
So the airport's totally closed?
Well, chaos overnight after the FAA announced the sudden shutdown of the El Paso International Airport's airspace for 10 days, sending pilots and passengers reeling to figure out what was happening. But then a sudden reversal. The shutdown rolled back, with the transportation secretary saying cartel drones caused that closure. All of that happening as El Paso's mayor says they were left in the dark.
I want to be very, very clear that this should have never happened.
Okay, yeah, it definitely should have happened, firstly. And it probably should have happened a long time ago, specifically knowing that the cartel currently, they have like a drone operating unit, if that makes any sense here, while they also are purchasing consumer and prosumer level drones to basically drop things in random places, around the border towns, guys. All right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this should have happened a while ago. Unfortunately, this area here specifically needs to be looked at. There definitely needs to be some type of like drone mesh system or something kind of placed along the entirety of the southern border, kind of just for this reason, specifically if they're really close to like consumer or like public personal type of airports here, guys. Cause anything could happen. How much do you actually trust the honor of the cartel to not just go after a commercial airliner, guys?
Well, drones used by cartels has been an ongoing problem along the border, but the AP is now reporting that a new laser was used by the government to bring down those cartel drones. And last minute concerns over commercial flights in the area sparked the shutdown. Let's get out to News Nation's Ali Bradley, who is live in Texas with the very latest on all of this.
Yeah, hey, Nicole, as you mentioned there, this big closure stemmed from the Pentagon's plans to actually test out a laser that they would be using to take out Mexican drug cartel drones at the southern border and other places. That's according to the Associated Press. So the Pentagon apparently wanted to test out this laser despite having a meeting slated for later this month to discuss the issue. So here's what happened. Late last night, the Federal Aviation Administration issued a temporary flight restriction that would have halted all flights to and from El Paso International Airport for 10 days. They cited, quote, special security reasons. Now, the order covered commercial, cargo, and general aviation flights and extended over roughly a 10 nautical mile radius around the airport. But just hours later, federal officials reversed course, reopening the airport, lifting that closure early. In a post on X, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy saying in part, quote, the FAA and DOW acted swiftly to address a cartel drone incursion. The threat has been neutralized and there is no danger to commercial travel in the region. Meantime, the mayor of El Paso says they were not alerted of the flight restrictions that led to the closure of their airport, saying it was all unnecessary. Take a listen.
This should have never happened. You cannot restrict airspace over a major city without coordinating with the city. That failure to communicate is unacceptable. There's
Okay, guys, I agree on that instance, that specific point here.
probably been drones ever since they've been started flying in this community. So that's not nothing new. So a drone shutting down our airspace, we've got to get better than this.
Yeah, I think it matters on who was actually flying it. I think that's the big issue, because again, there is footage all around the internet. I cannot even kind of stitch it in here for you guys to actually see it, because it's a little bit brutal, where you basically see, multiple drones, specifically like agricultural drones, the ones that can pick people up and bring them to certain different locations, if that makes any sense here. So now imagine what else they're using with that amount of drone capability that has a payload of that size here. So guys, what they're basically doing is they're building IEDs basically and dropping them from these IEDs onto their adversaries' vehicles, bro. That's how they're being utilized. For that purpose, obviously, and to move some type of, narcotic, let's just say this, across the border. So yeah, guys, listen, I'm sorry. There definitely should have been something said to the people running the city that, hey, listen, this is going to happen here. This has to happen. But again, you technically do not own the airspace above anything, truthfully. But now above the airport, that may be slightly tricky, but I'm guessing the FAA is basically going to say that we own the airspace above there too. So it would have been great. It would have been like a slight nicety, at least, to tell them, hey, listen, we're going to go ahead and do this, even though you really don't have to. But I'll explain a little bit more on that later.
Now, in response to the mayor's criticism, the White House telling News Nation, quote, the Trump administration will always act swiftly to safeguard America's national security. The FAA closed El Paso airspace in response to a cartel drone threat and swiftly lifted the airspace closure after the threat was neutralized. Now, the head of the TSA actually just told Representative Tony Gonzalez during testimony that they were not alerted to the closure. The agency did not know about the airspace closure until after it happened. Now, another interesting piece here, Nicole, Fort Bliss, leaders there also were not alerted of this closure. Of course, Fort Bliss is that military installation that's in the El Paso area. So definitely some wires were not crossed there. Instead, they were left separate and were not informed of what was going on, Nicole.
And Ali, you have been reporting on these drones at
they
the
generally
border
don't
for
have
years.
to.
How sophisticated are they? What more do we know?
Yeah, they're only increasing in their capabilities and their sophistication, and they're actually weaponizing their drones as well. We've been reporting on this for months, for years here at News Nation. So the criminal cartels are actually strapping bombs onto drones, and they use them against rival cartels. This is happening mostly on the other side of the border. The drones they're using, they're even bigger than those little ones that you or I would use as well. At one point, they were using French agricultural drones to carry heavier loads like drugs or, explosives. Now, the cartels are also reportedly using devices to interrupt or scramble devices on the U.S. side that are tracking the criminal organization's movements. And we're not talking about just a handful here. We're talking about a lot of drones, Nicole, because a top general actually testified to the Senate last year that they're seeing 1,000 drone incursions from the Mexican cartels each and every month down here at the southern border. We're not talking about one or two. He said 1,000 a month, Nicole.
I'm surprised it's that low. I'm going to be honest here, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, I definitely figured that number would be higher. Because now imagine here, guys, listen, if Trump basically locks down the border, and then their businesses are starting to suffer, and then also at the same time, he's locking down the ocean, and all of our airspace, I can imagine how your goal would probably be to still keep your business afloat. So what are you doing here? You're using the cheapest method you possibly can, which is going to be $1,000 drone, just in case you get shot down or whatever it is. It doesn't matter because it's $1,000 versus your product's value, which would be a lot more, right? And that's kind of how they're doing this here. That's it here. Now, understand when it comes down to droning, guys, I have a Part 107 drone pilot's license. I've been droning legally for a very long time now, guys. My license is maintained. I can fly basically anything. And so the thing is here, okay, it sounds like they're utilizing DJI matrices. She's calling them a French agricultural drone, but I'm almost positive it's going to be DJI. Why do I say that? Because they're the most easily accessible ones that you can possibly get, guys. You can basically order it on the internet today from your house and buy it if you have $20,000 or $10,000 for that purpose. And again, they can carry a gigantic amount of things here because what are they used for? Holding large quantities of pesticides to basically spray your crop, bro. Okay. And they have AI inside of them so they can kind of follow a path and come back to its charging base. Like that's what we're talking about here, guys. Yeah. Now, how are they utilizing the smaller ones? Probably for surveillance. They're watching us with that. And understand this here. There are also like police level drones that anyone can buy if you can afford to buy it from China, which is going to be DJI, right? That's it here, guys. You can buy those right now. They have heat seeking technology, super crazy, multiple lenses, and it's wild. All right. If you can afford to buy it, buy it. But obviously you can't fly it without a license because it's too big. You're not going to get away with that one, bro. But now when it comes down to the FAA, and the reason why I said I was going to have a conversation about that later is, again, because I have a Part 107 drones license, right? So I understand kind of all of the legal laws and things that the FAA kind of exists within, even though people, for some reason, do not, and a lot of jurisdictions do not. Like the amount of times I've seen someone flying their drone and then the police walked up to him and to talk to him about why they're flying their drone. And it's like, not any of your business because you're not the FAA, right? Because you don't own the airspace above your house even. Understand that. So when it comes down to the law, at least, right? Someone can fly their drone 50 feet above your house. What can you do about it? If you shoot it down, it's like you're shooting down a plane type of thing. That's what you're doing, if that makes any sense here. So don't do that. Okay, that's not your thing. You're going to go to jail. I'm telling you, you're going to go to jail. And then you're going to get sued for the property you just destroyed, because now you discharged a firearm at something that was flying in the air in FAA's jurisdiction. So be careful with that. And a lot of people are like, oh, if someone flies a drone over my property, I'm going to do this. I dare you to do that. Okay. Because the police are coming and I'm going to win, or the pilot is going to win. But now that's not saying that every single person has the wherewithal to get a pilot's license specifically for a drone and then use it in a way that is not nefarious. There are a lot of bad actors who can pass that hard test. Right? There are a lot of bad actors who walk around with that license. Also understand there are consumer level drones also that are less than 250 grams that do not even require a license. That can travel 12 miles away from you. Yeah, guys, we have a problem. Technology is surpassing legislation. Okay. So there are a couple of things here, guys. But now I can only imagine that those drones are being used by the cartel almost exclusively for surveillance. Sorry to get into this random, boring drone conversation for those of you who do not care about this topic, right? But just understand, this is what's happening here. But it would have been great if they would have told El Paso specifically that they were going to shut down the airspace. But again, they don't have to, because El Paso doesn't own the airspace, right? And that's the problem. Yes, it's going to negatively affect every single airline, flight, passenger that's coming out of that city. Are they probably going to go back to that city? Because now it's an option for you to shut down my flight. Oh, no. If that makes any sense here. It's plausible. But I think the big issue here is, guys, listen, it would have been great if they said something, but they don't have to. Truthfully, they don't have to. Your local police can do nothing about it. Your governor can do nothing about it, because no one owns the airspace. The FAA controls it. So it's a problem, isn't it? It's just how we're structured in America, though, guys. But listen, you guys have an absolutely amazing day. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. In the meantime, I'll catch you guys later. And guys, listen, this is a test here. Let's see if you guys are still here. Write the word lighter in the chat. Let me see. I'm trying to test something. I'll catch you guys later. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies, and I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings. And we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry, right? Listen, like and subscribe.